Ever since I was young, I have always loved comic books. But there was always a question that always came up: why? In order to figure this out, I went to my local comic book store, the Scruffy Nerders, to ask them why comic books were so popular.
It's what you want to be, not what you are necessarily. And then you see them, good always triumphs over evil. If you're a good person, in the end, you win. You know what I mean? You get what you want out of life. You get the girl, you get, you know, fame, recognition for your deeds, and you get to be the strong one. You get to write your own narrative. So, like, that's one of the main things that people see in comic books. Or they want a compelling story that they want to see good triumph over evil. They want to see a harrowing tale that most of us don't live interesting and extraordinary lives, but through comic books you can do that vicariously.
And a decade since comic books first appeared, a majority of their characters have become fan favorites.
Daredevil was one of the first ones I read. What it was is you had a guy that was putting himself out there to do what was right. And he wasn't Superman. He wasn't, any of these mega mutants or anything. He was just a guy that was willing to take the beating to do what was right.
And soon, comic books would quickly flourish into other mainstream media and would introduce new readers to these amazing characters.
Most people get into comics now secondary. They learn about these characters through TV, movies, and video games. When I was a kid, we had some of the greatest comic book animation ever. We had the X-Men cartoon, the Spider-Man cartoon, Fantastic Four, Iron Man. Like, there was a plethora of it. And it attracted a smaller audience, but still, it got a whole bunch of people into these characters.
All of this would change in 2008 with the creation of the MCU, which not only became a worldwide phenomenon, but also broke barriers along the way.
And I think it's done a great thing, not only in kind of expanding the fan base and having more people being aware and it's more recognizable. And, what used to be something that was kind of considered nerdy, dorky, and you get bullied for, when you were young. All of a sudden, now you're the kid that people are like, "Hey, who was that character in that last after credits scene?" Like, you know who it is. It's really cool to see kind of that switch and see people get more into things that were kind of, not really regarded as being cool, kind of bringing that sort of availability and enjoyment to